morning is with Alimamy Bakarr Sankoh. He was born and lives in Sierra Leone. He is the founder and leader of the People's Democratic League, PDL, and the president and co-founder of the New African Charter International and the Sahel Solidarity Campaign Network. And we have him online this morning to talk about the issue around the genocide actions of M23 and also an immediate demand to halt their atrocities. They also go on to say that they reject entirely the international corporate media's chauvinistic characterization of this war as an ethnic conflict. So, what exactly is this war all about? And let's hear how Alimamy is going to unpack this issue with us this morning. Assalamu alaikum to you. Very good morning and welcome to the program.
Okay. Walaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum.
Nice to have you on the show. And of course, as we have noted, you are an activist, socialist, a social and apolitical activist, and you do have very, very strong views regarding the issue around the situation playing out in Ghana. We believe that the Sahel Solidarity Campaign Network, which you head up as well, condemn outright the M23's atrocities. And you also go on to say that the characterization of this war is not necessarily an ethnic conflict. So will you put this into context for us, please?
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Much as I know and much as the situation is concerned in the DRC today, the conflict in the DRC is all about snatching away the natural resources out of the Congo. And we know who are behind it, and we know who are being used as pawns, as chief pawns in Africa to do the biddings. And we know Rwanda is leading the pawns in Africa, not only to destabilize the Congo, is to work on looting the resources of the Congo for their masters in the imperialist world. We know who are behind it. And as we rightly say, the Congo is Africa. Africa is the Congo. We cannot sit and allow these things to happen in Africa. The problem of the Congo is the problem of Sierra Leone. The problem of South Africa is the problem of Sierra Leone. The problem of Sierra Leone is the problem of South Africa. So we know also that South Africa is being humiliated today because of what? Its positions on international issues, such as the problems or the issues in Gaza. But that one is a different issue. God willing, we shall deal with it later. But the issue in the Congo is that they are fighting for the looting of the natural resources out of that country. And we know we are behind it. Elon Musk is one of them. And the European masters are there too, colonial masters. The French, the British, the Germans, they are all aiding the M23 to carry out the genocide in a way to have a hold on the resources in the eastern part of the Congo.
So, Alimamy, as I understand it, this violence is a direct continuation of the 20th century Congo's tragic neo-colonial history, where Western powers destroyed Congo's first republic to deny the Soviet Union access to Congo's high-grade uranium resource. This violence then led to the torture, death, and also, sadly, the dismemberment of DRC's prime minister at the time, Patrice Lumumba. Um,
Yeah.
this is still an ongoing issue as far as uh, solidarity and social and political activism and activists like yourself are calling out for. And also tied in, apart from the uranium resources, there's the ongoing issue of the blood diamonds as well, is it not?
Yeah, thank you very much. One of the issues in the Congo first started during the colonial time when Patrice Lumumba, the great revolutionary leader, was assassinated. And for over 60 years, the Congo has been a target for looting. We know Congo is the richest country in the world today in terms of natural resources. Madam, honestly, before God and man, the new Africa we are looking at today is against imperialism. It's against neocolonialism. And we believe strongly that the situation has both ends. That's the imperialist and the neocolonialist. Then the French are
Now,
here.
before Alimamy, before all of this, all of the current um, instability in the Congo, and this has been going on for hundreds of years. We also know that the Congo was a victim back in the day, was a victim of Europe's transatlantic slave trade. And that
Mhm.
still sits very heavily, that very dark history of the Congolese people. It hasn't been and will never be wiped out from your memory, will it?
Yeah. Well, the history of the Congo, like any other African country, like in Sierra Leone and Senegal and Ghana, we come to Sierra Leone in the south of the country. We have seen the slave dungeons there, where they have been using as a transit center to take our people out of the continent to Europe and the Americas. Now, the Congo is also another target, another area, another country that was being used as a slave center to take our brothers and sisters out of this continent. The situation has been there for 100 years, for centuries, and is still continuing today. No one should expect any forward-thinking African to sit aloof and allow this thing to continue. We have to come out to say no, to reject all this genocide, to reject these atrocities, to reject this anti-black campaign, to reject all this Holocaust campaign in Africa. No one should
So,
blame the government in Kinshasa.
all
The
right,
government in
Alimami,
Kinshasa met a situation like that. Yeah.
when we look at the current offensive by the M23, this has resulted in startling loss of life and extensive damage to public infrastructure. This has affected Goma and the entire North Kivu province. The West's proxy resource grab now threatens the stability of the entire Eastern and Southern Africa, as Rwanda and, as we know, sadly, South African Defence Forces have exchanged fire, which resulted, as we all know, in a perilous development. We've lost a number of our soldiers in that skirmish as well. What is your call now? What is the urgent action that needs to be put in place going forward?
In the first place, we, we need a halt to the fighting, and we need to exert pressure to bear on Rwanda and other countries like Uganda to stop their campaign, their genocide in the DRC. People are dying. They are destroying public infrastructures. They are destroying the future of the Congo. They are killing children. They are killing youth. They are killing elderly people in that country. So we need a stop to this genocide. We need the international community to come in. We need the Rwandan forces and the other foreign forces to leave the Congo. To leave the Congo immediately with no condition attached. That's our position.
You're also wanting an immediate meeting of the AU Security and Peace Council, and you want the AU to condemn Rwanda and Uganda's invasion of the DRC. Do you think that that is even remotely possible, given how this entire situation has gotten out of control?
Yeah. You know that the African Union is not working in the interest of the African people. And we don't need the African Union to only condemn, but to ask Rwanda and Uganda to leave the Congo immediately with no condition attached. That should be the responsibility of the African Union to step in. To say Uganda, to say Rwanda, leave the Congo. It is not, Congo itself is a sovereignty on its own. Respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Congo. You are breaching international law. You are breaching the charter of the African Union. This is what the African Union stands for. This is our position. And we are asking the African Union to intervene immediately, not only to condemn, but to see that the Congo is free from foreign invasion, is free from foreign aggression. And the M23 terrorists should also be held responsible for what is going on in the eastern part of the Congo. They have leaders, and their leaders, they have bases in Rwanda, they have bases in Uganda. Why do you think Chancellor is in prison in Rwanda today? Because he was charged for his role in the Sierra Leone conflict in the 1990s. So what is the United Nations waiting for? What is the African Union waiting for? What is SADC waiting for? To take actions against the authorities in Kigali, the authorities in Kampala, who are directly responsible for what is going on in the eastern part of the Congo today. Look at what is happening in North Kivu, in Goma.
Okay, we need to wrap up now. I just want to end with one final question. I think you are asking for more substantial support and unity amongst progressive movements across Africa to combat external exploitation. And when you talk external exploitation, you are directly pointing fingers at the West, because we do know, despite the situation currently in the Congo, the mining interests are still forging ahead. Foreign investors and foreign mines are still operating under very, very heavy guard. Do you think that your pleas will be heard? Do you think that there can be resolution? Because it seems as if Western countries have vested interest in that part of the world, and they're not going to give up that easily. They're wanting to get their hands on all those rich mineral resources of Africa, and particularly the Congo.
Here comes the call for the unity among African activists to pack up the pressure to bear on the Western government. You see, they are talking of human rights, but what is human rights? You are terrorizing the innocent people in Africa. What is human rights? You are stealing the resources, leaving people in poverty. What is human rights? You are aiding and abetting terrorists to commit genocide in other parts of the world. This is not human, this is not fair. This is not a genuine world. This is not an international policy. So I'm appealing to all African activists, both on the continent and the diaspora, to pack up the pressure, to continue putting out the pressure to bear on the international community, on the European Union, to stop members of the European Union from interfering in the internal affairs of the Congo.
Unfortunately, I think
What is
that's a
happening in Libya
very
is
big, yeah. I don't think the European Union would stop their interference in the Congo or the rest of Africa because they have everything to gain, and for us here in Africa, everything to lose. But that's where we have to leave it. Thank you indeed for talking with us this morning. We do hope and pray that common sense does prevail and that the AU wakes up now and starts making loud noises. That, of course, I was talking with Alimamy Bakarr Sankoh. He is with the Sahel Solidarity Campaign Network, and of course, they condemn the M23 atrocities totally, and are calling for the European Union to now, not the European Union, the African Union to now um, intervene and stop this massacre in the Congo and stop the Westerners from stealing their resources. Thank you indeed. We are moving along, and we do have our next guest standing by. Thank you indeed for your time.
okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much.
God bless. Assalamu alaikum to you. 8:44
Malikum
news
salam.
and
Malikum
views
salam.
moving along.